Is the audio not crackling anymore? Okay, good. Great. I don't know why it does that for no reason. Pisses me off. Alright. We're gonna be playing Spirit by Heart. I forgot the lore. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Alright, Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Prophecy. The Princess of the East. A princess born in divine light shall seal the fate of the night. As all of the land sits in her hand, hold on. Don't zoom in too much. What the hell is wrong with you? Fuck you. As all of the land sits in her hand, she will be with a lover planned, a forced marriage with a prince in heart, not a prince born in scars. Princess? Hold on. Sorry. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Next thing. Princess. Snow. I'm a princess. Am I a pretty girl? It's another forced girl game. Am I a pretty girl? This is a load of barnacles. Alright, anyway. I just quote a lot of like SpongeBob quotes. Hey, blown from Stupid Town? What? Alright. That's just my favorite thing to quote. Right. Princess Snow of the Delilah Kingdom. Dahlia Kingdom? That's me. Am I under that much stress? I forgot my own name. You shudder. The thought of not remembering who you are is horrible. Even if you somehow forget, there's always something to remind you. The prophecy. It defined your existence, controlled your future. The kingdom won't let you be a person if its outcome holds true. Marrying a prince of any kind will surely seal your good fate for good.
Self-voicing disabled.
Yeah, I know. And that's exactly the hell you ran from. You had to give up your everything. Your royal duties, the castle, your family. All to be yourself and have a choice in this world. On your birthday, too. It was nothing but cruel. The Prince of Ethereal. Could have loved him. He was so kind as a kid. But he changed. I'm marrying that. There was nothing kind left of him last I saw him. Left of Damien. Speak his name, please. Cart me. I need to focus on remembering everything. After you refused the prophecy and to marry him, he waged war against you and your family. If you didn't go willingly, the prophecy wouldn't uphold. Terrors unknown to man would impose upon the land, decimating it. You knew your choice was selfish, but you didn't care. You wanted to finally have a choice. Your choice was to go down with a fight. Except you didn't. It's me still. I'll never forgive myself, so leave me alone. You shook your head. It wasn't worth thinking about anymore. All you need to focus on was your present. I'm safe for now. All I need to do work is in a small town that keeps me busy. Plus, no one knows I'm the princess here. At least, I hope. Surely, if someone knew, they would have said something, right? Anyways, the town. After escaping, you found a small town. Or so you thought. They were a rebellion in disguise, fighting against the war. They gathered anyone and everyone who was willing to fight, including informants inside the castle. Some of them served under Damien himself. It was only a whisper, though. No one actually disclosed any of that information. Figures, and you didn't recognize anyone from your time inside the castle either. They found you in the forest and let you stay.
Tell anyone about this.
You helped out by collecting herbs for the healers and offering your fighting power in a group of warriors. Hello, I'm playing a visual novel right now where we're a princess having to escape our fate of marrying a prince against our will, because that's the fate, prophecy. It didn't have much to fight with besides a curved sword. Your sabre, it did good enough, so thank you for following. Currently, you spar and practice with one of the 3 elites. The warriors regarded as the best of the best, capable of taking down anyone. Yeah, Clyde. As if he isn't one of the weirdest guys here. Somehow on top of this already very weird situation I'm in. Plus, he's confusing. One instance, he's nice to me, making small talk and stuff, then the next, he's unreadable. Distant, rude, sarcastic, you name it. I mean, seriously, what is up with him? That's how he is, I guess. He's still definitely weird. Oh, thank you. Here I am thinking about him, although... What am I saying? Clyde? I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. Is he fuckable yet? Sorry. I don't know. Is he hands in the boot? Alright, I don't know. Feeling different. You agree with your thoughts. He's too weird for you. At least with the parts of him you see. So I do need a save. Did I save? The hell is this? Wait, this is that one visual novel I played. Why is this here? Why is that mixing with this visual novel? What? Huh? Alright, I'll just save on this page, I guess. Is there... Can you load that? Can you load this? Hold on. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't even work. Why the hell is it doing that? I don't know. Even though he's strange, I can't help but to feel indifferent. You agree with your thoughts. He is too weird for you, at least with the parts of him you see. Oh, I need to keep my distance from him, which is more than difficult considering I practice with him almost every day. At least your time here was well spent. Peaceful too. You still had to remember their goals. You had to remember that staying here forever wouldn't be possible. Consider yourself completely safe until you get out of here. Which makes me wonder, why haven't I already left? I'm still here 6 moons cycles later, without even a bit of an idea where to go. Scared. Of course I'd be scared in this situation. Yeah, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be scared if you were a prince? Having to be forced into this prophecy of having to marry a prince. It's just stupid. Of course I'm scared. Who wouldn't be? Maybe instead of thinking of why, I should think about how the hell getting the hell out of this town. Routing a plan of escape would be hard. There isn't another town or kingdom anywhere nearby. Unless I try to go up north into the cold mountains. Nothing about the idea seems appealing, and I know nothing about that kingdom, but let's keep that one for later. I could try to stall out in a forest nearby. No, there's so many animals around here. Nothing sounds like a good idea, and you remind yourself, well, you didn't have a plan yet. Everything seems impossible. Thinking this much hurts your head. So you force yourself to stop daydreaming and focus on what you're doing. Snow, try to remember what you're doing again, Snow. Maybe you're cleaning up your bed and something, or working on Snow! Yeah? Sorry, I was daydreaming. Also, why, like, if we're known as Princess Snow, why are we still considering ourselves by the name Snow? Wouldn't that give little red flags like, boop, boop, boop? That's the princess! Force her to marry the prince! Oh my god, we are dumb. We are dumb. I should have chosen the I'm dumb option because I'm dumb! Your eyes jolt open. First you notice Clyde standing in front of you, staring. His expression slightly annoyed but mostly blank. Is he the yandere guy? I don't know. You look around, your body is laying up against a tree in the middle of the forest. Other weapons and sparring tools cover the ground underneath both of you. You look up next. The sun is beating down on you harshly. All of your limbs feel weak and ready to give out any moment. Did I almost pass out? Remember Clyde and I actively sparring. I feel so weak. You mutter to yourself, trying to regain enough energy to stand fully upright. Oh, the thinking I was doing lately must have been taking a toll on my physical health, plus the sparring is always so intense.
What was that about the sparring practice? What was that about the sparring practice?
I can't hear you, sorry. Hold on. I'll turn down the music volume some more. Can you speak again?
What was that about the sparring practice?
Okay, you can hear it pretty well. I'm gonna put this up. There we go. Hey, can you speak again?
What was that about the sparring practice?
Alright. There you go. Nothing, Clyde. I said I'm trying over here, you know.
If you call this trying, your reactions are slow and you are spacing out. Try again. This time, when you are ready.
Fuck you. Alright. His tone laced with sarcasm as he scoffs mockingly at you. mockingly at you. He was doing this to get a rise out of you, and man, it was working. He gave you a little space while waiting for you to instigate the next spar attempt. Looking over at the spot he decided to take as he waited, only to see him lazily lying against a tree with the board look still waiting. Seeing him make this difficult training in the horrible sun look easy pissed you off. It made sense since he had so much more experience than you. People regarded him as an elite warrior, which meant he is someone with unique skills on the battlefield. Skills that you probably only scratched the surface of while sparring him. Drink all my coffee. Here, I'm gonna get up here in a bit to get some more. Not only that, but he's 25. Definitely more than capable of doing this. You're only a basic warrior, mostly there as frontline for the more useful people behind you. Clyde is pushing you to new levels of training that are not meant for you at all. Truthfully, being pushed over the max didn't feel good. It was annoying. Clyde even more so. Try not thinking about that part. Something that made it worse was that he didn't do this to anyone else but you. At least, not that you could notice. Interesting. Interesting. I want to rise on that. Alright. To everyone else, he definitely, he didn't show anything. Emotions, expressions, nothing. He completely reserved himself. I wonder why he's treating you special. It's almost like, going by the same name as your princess self isn't the smart idea. Maybe that isn't. Maybe you look dumb. Hold on. Maybe you look like an idiot. They're like, it's obviously you. You kind of look like her. Your name is the same. You think I'm not gonna notice you? I'm not gonna notice that you're the princess? That you're the princess? Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. Why am I playing an idiot? Why? Developers. Why am I playing an idiot? Why is the MC an idiot? Anyway, jokes aside. She's dumb! She is dumb! What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Are you surprised? Would you be surprised if he fucking knew that you were the fucking princess? I was doing a good job pretending to not be the princess. Snow! Same as the princess, Snow! Fuck you! Alright. To everyone else, he didn't show anything. Expressions, emotions, nothing. He completely reserved himself. To blink into focus, your body was only getting antsy to do something. The adrenaline of coming back to consciousness a moment ago was wearing out. Considering Clyde was going to let you off the hook in terms of the sparring practice either, he probably wanted you to do one more round of combat before calling it a day. You would have been keen on calling it a day times before this, as you knew your body was going to be able to keep up this round, even with the adrenaline. Might as well try a little bit. Don't need to go crazy or anything. Not like I even can. My body feels like I could fall over at any moment. Speaking of falling over, you glanced over at him again, laying there against the tree, staring at his sharp end of the spear. He was so relaxed, like he didn't need to break a sweat. How is he able to stand there like this? His training is nothing to him. He really makes this look easy. I guarantee myself, he's doing it on purpose in spite of me. He probably enjoys the entitlement it gives him to know he's stronger than me. Oh, that reminds me of those royals. Oh, shuck there. You blinked out, thinking about how you wished to kick the entitlement out of him. It didn't occur to you that during the time you were falling deep into your thoughts, you were staring right at him. He knows quick and got off the tree, walking back over to you. He's coming back over. Whatever, we can get this training over with.
Is the princess finally ready to continue? Or are you going to keep staring at me all day? I don't mind that, but only if
Oh
you
my
are
God,
looking
the
for a good
audio's
reason.
loud. Do you know we're the princess? But your heart's gonna beat. You were staring, or was he flirting with you again? Cal, but to at least blush a little, or does he know? Does he know? Because he called us a princess. Unless we are not acknowledging that princess part. Unless he's helping. Did they say that he knew? I don't know. I don't remember. You can't help but at least blush a little. Not only because of the remark, but the nickname he chose for you. Thought I'd start to worry you. Him knowing your secret, princess. Okay, so he doesn't know. So we think he doesn't know, but he knows. He knows. Because why else would he not know? We go by the same name. We go by the same name. We look the same. Are you fucking dumb? Alright. Princess, you worry that he's toying with you at this point. You hope it's a coincidence. At least you can escape before you found out. He positions himself for battle and you do the same, mimicking his movements. Yes, please hurry up. After you finish speaking, you attempt to strike him in a forward position with an immediate hit from your sword into his chest.
As you wish, my princess.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He winks, blocking your attempt to strike him with ease before rushing in with his first attack. Sweeping his with his spear to knock you off your feet. You know what he's trying to do, using cheap tactics to throw you off and distract you. Of the 6 seemingly endless moon cycles, you and Clyde frequently had interactions like this, sparring, flirting, and everything else awkward in between. Brain focus on the training. I'm trying to injure myself or something. Him when I'm the most vulnerable to distractions. You dodge his attack back, not with any ease at all. You keep your footing in the ground to avoid being knocked off balance. You try to strike him back from the left this time, but he dodges on the right without any care in the world. For the next attack, he came straight on, testing to see if you were still prepared for attacking again. You were, and you held your block up to make sure his attack wasn't going to hit you. Both of the weapons collide, making an intense sound that reverberated through the forest. Even though you blocked it, it still took a lot out of you. You felt that you were running out of strength and energy fast.
Stay up. Your defense is wavering. Unless that's what you want.
On. Voice. I'm gonna turn that down a bit. Obviously not. I'm tired. God, do you even get tired at all? He shrugged, not giving the conversation another thought before hitting you again with a simple attack to break your defensive form. And obviously worked. Sending you staggered back a little bit. You could feel it. The next stagger was going to send you down. You had to play more carefully to try and end this before you actually got knocked down. Of course, as you say that, you ready for another attack that he not only dodges, but makes it incredibly obvious it is doing so. Still, even though your attack was going to miss, he chose to jump in the way and block it. As he held your block, he pushed you back hard. The final stagger to send you barreling backwards. Before you had any time to think about recovering your balance, your head hit a tree. Shit. Are we dead? Are we dead? Are we dead? I hope not. You felt your head slam back onto a tree behind you, rendering you winded and in pain. All you could do to stay conscious was holding on tight to your sword pointed outward in front of you. The impact of the blow forced your eyes shut, and at this point, you were scared to reopen them. The noise you could make was a lot of heavy breathing in the ambience of nature. Slowly and cautiously open your eyes to assess the damage. What? Okay. Why are you looking at me lovingly? Where are these heart eyes? Hold on. There you go. The fuck is that? Alright, Clyde was so close to you that you could barely see anything else but him. How embarrassing. A hit that you thought were going to take... A hit that you thought you were going to take was avoided, though. As you notice, he instead ended up stabbing a spear into the tree behind you, right next to your head. You were surely grateful for that, but still confused why he attacked you the way he did. He could have done anything else to win the fight and not have it ended up in this position. So close to him, he was still moving and still wasn't moving and letting go either. I guess he didn't pick up on this awkward situation yet, especially since it's been way after the fight was already won in his favor. Sorry, dogs barking. The whole situation was scrambling your brain, especially after the hard impact to your head against the tree. It took a moment to not only find the right words to say, but also recover your voice enough to talk because of the impact. You only looked down and noticed the real problem, your sword. Sword shoved in his chest. I didn't even see that! Oh, fuck. Oh my god, are you okay? My sword. Snow. Your wound looks terrible. Are you gonna be okay? I didn't mean...
Listen, it's fine. It was my fault anyway. I ran into your sword, as you can see. Trust me, you wouldn't be able to make me bleed like this in a fight even if you tried. I did it to myself.
Really, The conversation died off as he ended it with a taunting remark to you. He zoned off again in the small time of calmness after the sparring, wishing you could smack him for saying something mean like that. As you came back to reality, you realized you were both still here. He wasn't getting off of you or moving out of the way. As you both stared back into each other's eyes, all you could notice was this weird expression he was keep making when looking at you. It's uncomfortable. You need to tell him to get off. Are you gonna get off of me? My sword needs to come out of you soon. Yeah. Clyde pulled himself off of you, not mentioning the ounce of what happened. His multitude of facial expressions turned to nothing. You watched him pull your sword out of his chest, dumbfounded he did that without even wincing in pain, and gestured the handle back to you. The moment you took it back from him, but you eventually did, muttering out of things. Clyde started walking by himself while injured, nudging you to do the same. You were more conscious and had no choice but to follow him. The walk back into the town was very quiet, mostly awkward, but nothing short of violent. The only noise between the two of you was both of your steps walking on the grass and the ground. Just realized how loud the noises, the steps are, the steppy steps. Turn that down. Okay. Couldn't believe he was making this injury look like nothing. You surely would not be feeling the same if he did this to you. He was holding it over with one hand, but still, not even an ounce of pain seeping into his face. Was he really this strong? Surely he was making it look like he could handle it, right? You ignored any other incoming thoughts and only focused on getting back to the town. All this thinking was gonna burn a hole through your brain. Okay. After some time, you both made it into town, or at least you could see it up ahead. You and Clyde separated, with him hurrying off to the healing center, which was really close to the entrance of town. Lucky for him. He didn't even say goodbye, though, or anything. He brushed it off, remembering you had the rest of the day to yourself. You always did on sparring days. You deserved it too. The sparring was enough to make you want to fall over and sleep for days on end. As much as you wanted to do something else productive, like try and find the best escape route, your body heavily disagreed. Pushing yourself too far and causing any kind of injury would definitely hinder an escape attempt in the future. Or should I relax? What is a barracks? Oh, look at what this is. I can head to the barracks and end my day early. Maybe I take a nap until the rest of the hunters come back to disturb it, as always. Library? Okay. It should be peaceful and probably empty. No one else ever goes to the library but me anyway. You remember that you had to pass by the healing center to get your desired location. Saw Clyde head into the building earlier and didn't see him come out yet. Surely someone like him would be hurt that bad by an injury like that, alright? Then again, if it's him we're talking about, he shrugged off that he's fine and tried to walk past. Unfortunately, yours caught both Clyde and someone else arguing and yelling at each other pretty intensely too. Minutes pick on what they're arguing about his injuries. You almost felt responsible for the arguing and thought about going in there. Going in is probably not a good idea. I really don't want to draw more attention to myself. At least not more than Clyde already gives me. But maybe I should just sit nearby and listen to what they're saying. Ooh, I feel like it's important. Yes. Seems wrong to listen in, but I feel bad for hurting him. I should make sure he's okay and then leave. She knows I'm talking about me being the princess. I don't want that. You crept up to the doors and just barely cracked them open a little bit more, enough to see the conversation unfold without having to actually go inside. While you initially had only wanted to listen, concern filled your mind. You needed to see him to make sure he was okay. Figures the last thing you needed was to be caught doing this, still you kept listening. First you noticed Clyde sitting upright on one of the healing beds, covering his wound with his hand, resisting the treatment. You couldn't understand why he didn't want it, but it was sure as hell obvious that he didn't. Then you noticed that who was trying to heal him, Alice. Or you assumed that was her name, since Clyde kept yelling it. You didn't really know her. You've been healed a few times in the healing center, but never by her, or anyone high enough in rank to yell at Clyde like this and get away with it.
I'm not being difficult. You simply, as always, have no idea what you're doing. I'd rather just go back to the barracks and take care of it myself.
You are so stubborn as to insult me. You know I have done this for how many moon cycles, and for everyone else in this army, so shut up and let me heal your wound.
Not happening.
I've even healed your wounds for decades. You being like this only proves to me that something is up. So what's been going on with you recently?
It's nothing, Alice. I'm fine.
Really? I'm supposed to believe this switch up in your personality over the last few moon cycles was for nothing?
I said I'm fine. Drop the subject now.
Huh.
Okay.
What do you want me to do with you then? How did you even get injured?
Snow and I had a small accident while sparring.
She did this to you? That's why you were so bent out of shape to talk about this.
Again, drop it.
You are so lucky that no one else is here with enough authority to do something about you. If the others heard about you not getting healing from me...
And what? Huh? What do you think they can do about it?
Maybe I should be so kind as to drop them a message regarding your relationship with her.
I'm leaving. She can help me instead of you. Then I won't have to listen to the shit you give me.
Okay. So I guess they're like, oh, you like her. Alright. But he's not talking anything about us being the princess. So I'll just do this. Head to the barracks because he said he would do that. And end my day early. Take a nap until the rest of the hundreds come back and disturb it, as always. It should be pretty peaceful and empty in the barracks. Everyone is usually out on days like these, either gathering intel or food. Both would be nice to have right about now. You remembered that you had to pass by the healing center to get your desired location. You saw Clyde head into the building earlier and didn't notice him come out yet. Okay. I don't want to listen to him. Okay, no. Private business. I should move along. Plus, if I were them, I wouldn't want my business to be listened on. You pass by the healing center, trying your best to ignore the dialogue argument that Clyde and the other person were still mentioning. You just got done saying how it was private business and not to be listening in on, but damn, your ears are working. You thankfully only hear something about Clyde and his injuries being manageable. Feel relieved, certain that Clyde will be fine. Not that it's any of my business to worry about him or his health, so I'm sure he's okay, though I've never seen him hurt or draw blood, ever. You started feeling guilty. But not because of him, you hurt someone. That wasn't something you were used to. Or maybe it was because it was him. Snow! Hey! Jeez. Jackson scared you really badly. You were doing so much thinking that you didn't even notice him walking right towards you. Where are you heading? Looks like you got back from training.
You just got back from training.
Oh!
Considering how drained you look.
I can't fucking hear you. Hold on.
Where are you heading? Looks like you just got back from training, considering how drained you look.
Very drowned out, I can't hear him. Well. Hi, Jackson. I'm sorry I didn't notice you. Yeah, we just finished, but it was pretty bad time today, so I'm not thinking straight. I'm heading to the barracks to relax.
That's okay. You've been doing that a lot lately, though. Is everything else okay?
Mostly, I have a lot on my mind usually, so I get carried away thinking about it. No big deal at all. He doesn't look so convinced by that one bit. Imagine all elites know. He gives you a suspicious look before trying to force himself not to keep asking. He looks to be struggling to do that, though.
You can always tell me what's on your mind. I'll listen to any problems you have, even girl ones. I'm a man, so I can take it.
What are the girl problems? I don't know. You laugh at his comment about your gendered problems. Does he really think you have girl problems right now? Huh, what would you like to know? Anyway. What about my girl problems you want to know? Besides the point, Jackson looks being so nice and down to earth was pretty normal, but he wasn't always like that. The first time you met Jackson Chastain was during a basic drill training. Basic training drill. That was back when you definitely weren't good at this whole fighting combat thing, or paying enough attention to get better. He, at first, was annoyed by your lack of care towards the training itself, but after talking to you, realizing you were completely inexperienced, he offered to help you. I hear someone at my door. Super dog, super dog, super dog, super dog. Alright, there you go. Super dog, yeah, super dog. Alright, anyway, ended up talking to him almost every day. He became the only person you could trust even a little bit in town, and you relied on him the first few moon cycles. Pebbles. What did you What? Oh, now you want to leave? Oh, now you want to leave? Even though you just got in. She comes in, then she wants to leave. Alright. Honestly, he's more attractive than Clyde. Come on. Oh my god, now she's back. Oh my god. Wait, what are you doing? Alright. Got better at combat. Clyde demanded that you start training with him. You wonder if you and Jackson talking so much was the reason you got pulled from the regular training. Creepy. Yeah, thinking about that makes me realize how strange that was of him to do. After that, you guys still talked, less frequently, but got along pretty well. How ironic to think about you and Jackson being friends. The two of you were the only ones who weren't staying here for any reason in particular. He was here for knowledge and combat experience, while you really should have fled moon cycles ago. But ending up doing the same. Overall, you both are pretty close and are able to confide most of your secrets with him. Hold on. Come here, come here. What are you doing? Obviously not the big one, but no one could know that, so that one didn't really count. Of course, thank you. I'm gonna head on unless you need something else. He hesitates in replying. Notice that he's gonna say something. Better think of a response and fast.
Do you mind if I press on this one? You really look horrible. And I mean that in the nicest, least condescending way possible. Is something or someone bothering you?
Hold on. Pebbles! Oh my god! There you go. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Clyde isn't really bothering me. Something is bothering me. Yeah, some personal issues have come up. Nothing to do with anyone else, just me, promise.
And if these personal issues become too much to bear, you'll reach out to me for help, right?
Of course! That's what friends are for, at least I thought so. It kind of expected him to be there to listen if you wanted to talk about it, but it made you feel good to hear him say it. Unfortunately, not like you could ever tell him what was bothering you, or at least until the war was over. Damien was dead, and someone else took the throne instead of you. Wow, that was a lot of prerequisites.
Definitely. I'll let you go then to relax. Enjoy the time to yourself.
I ain't doing the time. I'm not a princess. Alright. Thanks, Jackson. I'll talk to you tomorrow, right? That's a group for training in the mountains.
Of course. See you then.
After waving goodbye to Jackson, you continue on your way to finally relax somewhere. You hope for no more interruptions, since you really had no desire to talk to more people. The town seemed really empty anyway, so put your head down and start to speed walk as fast as you could without hurting any additional parts on your body. Alright. You finally make it to the barracks and immediately find your spot in the midst of all the same exact beds. You try to make your bed space and little area a bit different to stand out, but there wasn't a whole lot of ways you could do that. Folding the bed sheets to a certain way was, thankfully, the most helpful thing you could do to stand out. It worked well enough, all things considered. The small space you had almost felt like it gave you a sense of privacy in this very unprivate life. You immediately walked over to your bed, so you could take off your sword and placed it against the nightstand. It feels better to have this thing off, reminding me, or keeping it on only reminds me how dangerous the world is. I'm safe and alone. For a little bit, I can sleep. So I can sleep. Sorry, Markiplier. Ding. Notification on my phone. Talking so much to other people every day made you wish you could sleep endlessly. You can't, of course, so you plan on a small nap. Carefully climbed onto bed, still in your sparring clothes, but at this point, you didn't care. The exhaustion was hitting you like a wave the longer it took you to get into a comfortable position. Finally, you take a deep breath and finally found a perfect position to fall asleep. Began to wake up after your small, well-deserved rest. After that small victory today, you felt pretty good. Still, you found yourself too awake to stand the barricades and do nothing until dusk. There really isn't anything to do. I'm glad I got some refreshing sleep in, but I should head to the library. Being here is boring, and the library will definitely entertain me for a little while, with its endless supply of books to look at. Slowly climbed out of bed and grabbed your sword on the way, adjusting it on your waistband until it fit nicely. Once you knew your sword was secure, you left the barracks and went into the town. The library was close by. Thankfully, the walk wouldn't be so long. Let's hope no one else bothers me. The walk here was so peaceful. Good. I deserve a day that isn't chaotic. I didn't see anyone else either. Weird. Hold on. Like how that is. People should have started coming back from their tasks, but maybe everyone's doing other stuff. Surely, really shouldn't worry about other people. I can barely take care of myself right now. Push away the thoughts of other people and focus on yourself. Plus the reason you came here, to not be bored. And take a seat at the small desk in the middle of the first floor and look around at the book options nearby. You weren't even close to making a dent in the collection, but you had to be grateful for it. It kept you entertained for most, if not all, of your time here. You wondered why a small and fake town had all these historical documents, novels, and other works by so many different authors. Then again, maybe the town was a real town before the army used it for the rebellion. You weren't complaining, though. You needed the books at this point to not go insane from doing nothing. You looked at the books again. Each section had a small space for the genre, based on who wrote it. So you could read historical or romantic stories of past kingdoms from different authors. Kept an eye on a few that looked really good to read, but stopped once you remember something hidden in one of the shelves. Wait, my notebook. Put in one of these shelves to keep it safe. Which one is it? Oh, this one. Thank God, there it is. Take it out and put it on my desk to use later. Not only did you read it, you also run the notebook about the days and day events going on. The notebook was really the only piece of your old life you still had with you. Thought about skipping the reading and writing in your notebook instead, especially considering today. You always did that. It got boring over the last 6 moon cycles to have no freedom to do anything except write about your feelings. So you settled in your mind that we'd actually read through something today, but where to start? What genre? Last few days you covered most of these small history books about your kingdom and the one you were at war with. But you needed something new today. Got up from your desk and walked around the library to get a good look around. You were able to get all the other shelves, making sure to cover both the small upstairs and downstairs in search of finding good topics. After a while, you managed to pull together 3 books you hadn't noticed before as options to read and bringing them back to your desk. Sitting down, you looked over your options again. Question was, which one did you actually want to read? I don't know. I'll do that one. I love reading any books about flowers. So, we had many flowers in the garden at the castle. Different and seasonal ones all the time, too. There were so many bright colors to choose from. This one should have different types of flowers, too, since it's about the mountains, our agriculture. Not only was it super in-depth and interesting, it even had hand-drawn pictures of some of the flowers. You did recognize a few that managed to make their way into your garden, but most flowers in the books were new. You could tell this book was written with so much love. It made for a really good reading experience and got you thinking about your life back at home. The flowers that used to grow in the garden were so beautiful. Most of them were wild too. The gardener was surprised to find new flowers to show me. It would be touch if I had to pick a favorite out of the regulars I've seen. If I really had to, I don't know, red roses, purple, no, just purple. Whatever, it's purple, Purple aster makes sense to be my favorite. It was all over the kingdom, the flower of royalty. And honestly, I like it because of its extra meanings, wisdom, and admiration. I always thought of being a royal meant people could look up to me, although not as there are not many people to look up to. I'm certainly no good example. You kept reading onwards, but 2 other flowers ended up on topics about the soil, growing plants, and the landscape best suited for each. Then, through the stuff about the ground was boring, it was still something to keep the book going. Sadly, the book came to an end. Of course, there were so many flowers it could talk about in the world. That was a good read. I'm glad I picked it up. Took my mind off a lot of what was been happening recently. Shut the book and decided that's enough reading for today. You finally looked up after a while of staring down, looking how dark it was outside. Staying any later in the library might be Bad idea in case you fall asleep here before you get back to the barracks. Usually one of the elite warriors did a check to make sure everyone was in their bed by nighttime. If you didn't show, you might get in serious trouble. Still, you couldn't help but at least want to put a little something in your notebook for yourself. More a requirement for my mental sanity at this point. I can make it quick and get off here soon. Start about writing about the war and the never-ending pain that coincided with it. Pain that haunted you, both mentally and physically at this point. Being in pain from training so much, all the time, almost kept your mind off of everything else. Almost. Next you mentioned Damien. It was almost a reaction to think of him every time you thought of yourself in pain. You wish you could tell him how much of that pain he causes on the regular, but it wouldn't be worth having to see him again. It's just such a rotten one to think I liked him. Then you made sure to include a piece of yourself in there. A little section about your regular feelings on the day-to-day. Sure, you had Jackson to occasionally talk to about your regards, but you didn't do that often. As nice as he was, you still couldn't trust him completely. You couldn't trust anybody that much at this point. Finally, there was today. Mostly Clyde of today, but still, you had to say something about him. His behavior today was completely out of the ordinary. But it was a nice change to his usual, or maybe it wasn't. Were you really trying to get attached to him or not? You were still trying to leave, just side brain, good or bad. I'll say good, just for now. Sure, why not? He wasn't weird or out of the ordinary. Okay, that was pretty often, but when he's nice, I certainly appreciated it. We basically wrote that down and left it at that, no additional details required. There wasn't really anything else to say. He was there, and that counted enough for a lot of things. Although you did get a little carried away when writing the section about him, and drawing a little doodle of him to the words. You thought it was cute, maybe even cuter than him in real life. But you were certainly no talented artist or anything. As you continued on, couldn't help but glance at it, sometimes to keep you motivated. Aside from the way you felt about him, they still did to make sure to completely recount the day. From the incident this morning all the way until now, the middle of the night. Made sure to cover almost everything in detail, as in the small chance that maybe you wake up with amnesia or something. At this point, nothing would surprise you. This information about Claude and the events of today took almost 2 whole pages, right next to each other. On that note, you figured it was perfect time to head to bed, if you could. As you get up from your desk, you barely feel your legs. How long have I been sitting here? I need to get to bed. Trying to resist the feeling in your legs never made them feel any better. Hello. All you need. Alright. All I could focus on was the urge to sleep more and more, pushing you down to stay at the desk. I don't want to get up. I'm in so much trouble. It didn't matter how much trouble you were going to be in, you couldn't move anything. Your legs felt like they didn't work. After a while, you could only accept whatever the punishment would be. Head collapsed on the desk, leaving the notebook completely open to the last page you wrote.
Seems you fell asleep in here instead of coming back to the barracks like you were supposed to. Scared me. I thought something happened to you, making my brain fight for its life, trying to deny all these bad things I keep thinking that could have happened. Instead, here you are. Sleep on a desk in a library. A little bookworm you are. Although this book looks handwritten. Are you writing this yourself? You always do carry around that notebook. Is this the same one? Not to peek into your private business. But the page sitting open in front of me is too tempting. I'm sorry. Wait. My name. My name is all over this page. You wrote about me. I need to read all of it. What are you saying about me? All of this? Hold on. I need to read the rest just to be sure. Wow. I can't believe anything I just read. So much of this page just doesn't stop talking about me. I'm so glad you think about me just as much as I do about you. And look at that little adorable drawing of me. I didn't know you were so talented. I guess you like my confidence a little bit, huh? I'd kill anything for you. Don't forget that. Once this is all over, you'll be happier than you ever were before. I'll guarantee that with my life. I'll guarantee that.
Oh, let me load. I should have saved there. Sorry, just wanna write that.
Wow. And look at that. I'd anything for you.
Alright. I'm gonna go. So I can do stuff. Alright, anyway, good game. Hope to see more. Alright, I'll be right back. Sorry.